Hello everyone and welcome to another Getting Stuff Painted. Not too long since my last one, but that was a Cursed City focused one. While painting up half of that stuff, I was also still busy painting mostly a lot of hired goons and gangsters and such for the Batman miniature game. But we do also have some other side stuff from the same game, along with some Bloodborne, Blood Bowl, did it again, Blood Bowl, and then also again still continuing with the 60 miniatures that come with Cursed City. I think with what we have here it takes me to 30, so half done over the course of a few weeks, well maybe a bit longer than that at this point. Either way, getting through it, but also still wanting to up the number of Batman miniatures I have done because of the new objective decks that are hopefully shipping soon, because at the time of recording they have not yet. So as always we'll go from left to right. From the Blood Bowl team that's been in progress for months at this point, because I regret starting them and not the newer Orc team, we have the two Black Orc blockers from the 2018 Blood Bowl starter set. With that puts me at 9 of the required 11. I believe the only two left to do are the Orc Blitzers. Once they're done they can be fielded, so we're getting there, slowly but surely we're getting there. Are the numbers in the right order? Which number is this? This is number 10, are you number 9? You're number 8. I feel like I may have accidentally missed number 9. So that's going to be annoying because I wanted to keep them grouped together. Either way, everything you're seeing today again, painted with contrast. Blood Angels red, Warp Lightning green, Black Templar black, and one of the base texture paints that Games Workshop does for the actual like dirt effect on their base. I haven't done anything to that. It is just the effect the paint gets. If you let it dry for like an hour, very fancy stuff. And Agrax Earthshade over the whole thing, to make it look appropriately muddy for a game of rugby. Or American football, fancy American football, whatever. And the other one, oh, is he in focus? Not quite. The other one, again, done in the exact same way, more or less. I cut a little bit off him because the model was damaged. He should have a thing hanging from there, but yeah, it got broken in the assembly process. I think when I was pressing them together, because these are all push fit, I accidentally bent it a little bit. So I cut it off, so now that's another way to tell them apart as well, not just with their numbers that I've written on there and their shoulder pads. So they're the big tough bruisers that don't move very fast, but boy do they hit hard. So from Cursed City we have just a few more miniatures on top of the special I did where I covered like the vast majority of what I painted. But we have 2 more zombies, we have 1 more watch skeleton, and then we have the other Kursagi Night Guard. Guess we'll start with him. The other one is holding keys pointlessly. This one is more set up for fighting. He's standing with his big battle axe ready. That's snakebite leather for the wood with Agrax Earthshade over the top. It's Talisar red I believe for his cape with a little bit of Black Templar. Plague Bearer flesh for his skin, and that is Basilicanum grey around the edges and also on the base after applying some Astral Granite. This is the Sergeant who I thought I had over when I was recording the first episode of Cursed City, but he was actually over here because he wasn't done. Is that in focus? He wasn't done just yet. You can tell because he's got a slightly weird looking face. That's the only thing to tell him apart from the other sword and shield or sword and board skeletons. But he's the Sergeant, he provides some buffs, the standard bearers provide some buffs, and they're the ones you want to kill in certain mission types. The zombies are fun. They're carrying around their graves because they burst out the ground with them on their back. There's actually a stake going down through them, so that's why they're still attached. Plague Bearer flesh for the skin tone. Usually a mixture of wildwood and snakebite leather for their various clothing because they'd come out the ground muddy. And a dry brushing of Mornifying Brown over the top because again they've just come out the ground. So I wanted to amplify how dirty they look. And a dry brushing on the base of the brown as well. For some reason this one has a crow on it that's got an eyeball hanging from it, which is pretty fun, detail wise. Rubbish looking actual gravestone, but again it's got a spike that goes right down through him, so he has no choice but to carry it around. And he's struggling a little bit, he's got a bad leg, but exactly the same colour is used for him as well. And as I say, I think with the completion of these 4 that takes me to almost either just below or just over 30, so half the box done. So the rest of what we have to show off today is all from the Batman miniature game, because as I say there's a bunch of new objective decks coming out and I want crews ready for them. But we're going all over the place with what we have here. We have Court of Owls, we have Organised Crime, we have Penguin, we have 60s Batman, miscellaneous Batman, free agents and whatnot, but we'll start with what's already been seen in the battle report, which is the Adam West Batman, Burt Ward Robin, and at the back here, KG Beast. This is a Krellian, whatever, it's a Krellin blue / green. It's the green that looks blue or the blue that looks green, however you want to say it. Is that in focus? I think it is. It is now. Lead Belcher Silver for his gun, Gilman Flesh for his skin tone, Basilicanum Grey for the base, and Agrax Earthshade, and a little bit of non-oil as well over all of him afterwards. Quite happy with how that one turned out, actually. The Krellian green, whatever it's called, matches the official colour tone used pretty well, because I wasn't sure how else to replicate it, honestly. So, little Burt Ward as Robin. This might be difficult to get into focus. The official paint job of this has a very Uncanny Valley look to his painted face, but a lot of Gilman Flesh, Yandin Yellow, Blood Angels Red, and Warp Lightning, again with a wash over the top. Not too bad. Doesn't fit the theme of the rest of the game, but that's part of the fun with these 60s ones. Like, there's a Cesar Romero Joker coming out that's riding a surfboard from a very infamous episode of the 60s Adam West Batman, the one where he uses his shark repellent against a shark. Although I think he used it again in the movie because he got attacked by a shark in the movie. But yeah, actually I think it was a season 3 episode which was after the movie, so I guess they were just doing their own self-reference. Either way, that is Ultramarines Blue for his cape and other blue parts. I did use Basilicanum Grey, but I didn't like how dark and brooding it looked because this is Adam West, so I did a dry brushing, or maybe just a layer of Storm Vermin Fur, I think, over the top, just to not make it look as dank as I usually do, because he's cheerful. I regret kind of using a wash over the base. I wish I'd just used a brighter yellow, but I didn't really have anything besides the Yandin Yellow, which I did use for it, but it doesn't apply as well as I would like for a super bright yellow. So next we have Gotham by Gaslight Batman, which is the Elseworld story where it's Batman versus Jack the Ripper. And this is... Sorry, I got distracted because I think there's an election truck going by in a speaker, using a speaker. Hang on a second. Okay, hopefully it's going to stop now. It's election season in Scotland and today is election day, so there is people going around rallying and speaking from their cars with loudspeakers. Wonderful times. Anyway, as I was saying, Gotham by Gaslight, it's Batman vs. Jack the Ripper. I haven't read the comic version of this. I've seen the animated movie. The animated movie is good and also has a different ending to the comics, so even if you've seen or read one, you can read the other and still have a surprise, because Jack the Ripper's identity is different in both. It's typical, stereotypical colours used for Batman, obviously Basilicanum Grey, Black Templar, etc. He's perched up on a chimney. It is actually a chimney. You can see kind of like the hollow bit in there, ready to pound us down. I don't know how this guy performs. He was like a special edition release. I managed to track one down on eBay, so that's why I picked it up for a reasonable price. See, now I'm paranoid about election trucks going past and like doxing me or something. See, even Sora's mad at them now. So then we have two models from the Court of Owl releases. Finally got some of them painted up. What is he called again? Dementor. A very large, scary owl talon with a sickle. Not much to this guy. He was super quick. Wildwood, Lead Belcher, Silver, and then Agras Earthshade over the top. The model does most of the work here. It looks neat. He looks intimidating. Did a little blood on the base with Blood for the Blood God. It's also on the sickle there too. And yeah, didn't really need to do anything else to him. Could technically have given him a mortifying brown dry brush if you wanted to brighten him up a little bit. But he's supposed to be creepy. He has Inspire Fear. So I thought, why not leave him like that? So we also have the court itself, which is just the visual representation of their influence. They're not actually walking around the table like this. Tried to paint it as close to the box as I could. A little bit danker than I would have liked, honestly, but a mixture of, again, blacks, greys, Talisar blue, and what's it called? Not Wildwood, the other one. Snakebite Leather, that's the one. Blanked on it there for a second for the base. Red for the rug, and then again some more blood because there's a knife hidden under the carpet there, because I made it look like they've stabbed someone and they don't want to talk about it. It turned out okay, especially considering how many models are in the way in one base. It's like the group of villagers from the Bloodborne miniature game in terms of like getting into nooks and crannies and whatnot. But yeah, it's a nice looking piece, and again, it's just their influence on the board, so it's not, they're not walking around carrying that chair, carpet, and flooring. So the last little bit for this video is the organised crime in Penguin. So we have the holiday killer, Alfonso I think his name was, I've forgotten now. But oh, come on, he is a sidekick for the Roman Falcone list for organised crime, and we'll hopefully be seeing him and all these other standard hired goons. Again, using a mixture of the same colours I've talked about this time, so I'm just showing the miniatures. Soon-ish, if Night Models gets those card packs dispatched soon, but I wouldn't expect it until the middle of this month, honestly, given they pre-order till the end of the month, but then they don't seem to ship until the middle of the month. Which is a little bit weird, but hey, if nothing else, they're known for very questionable decisions. So these are a bunch of hired goons. They're mostly like health 4, willpower 4, so they're super easy to kill. But you can have a lot of them, and a few of them have decent guns or other traits like bodyguarding and whatnot. Like this guy has bodyguard, I think. He's in the what is it pose from Dark Souls. And then we have, in last place for the organised crime portion, the Roman himself, Falcone, doing his best Godfather impersonation. Sniffing a rose, standing around, being evil. In the official paint job, I have no idea how they were able to accurately do the Catwoman claw marks on his face. I'm in awe of that kind of tiny detail people can do. And we have 3 miniatures from a Penguin. Well, no, sorry, not Killer Croc. King Shark is unaffiliated, but he fits the theme. So this is Emperor Penguin, who's from the story of the same name. And he kind of takes over Penguin's business while he's in prison, and then doesn't give it back afterwards. He has superpowers, like he's kind of got a super serum, that's why his skin's blue, and why he becomes super powerful, and he can regenerate and whatnot. I don't think he fits the theme of the new objective deck Penguin is getting, but he is an option as a leader. This is just a henchwoman, I've forgotten her name offhand. Lark, that's her name, Lark. This is going to be murder to get in focus because she's so tiny. She hangs around Penguin and she is pure bodyguard, like she makes people roll less dice or something. It's either your attack is -1 or you lose 1 dice if you attack a leader while she's nearby him, or she can just bodyguard the hits as well, so she's like pure defense for your leader. And then, ahead of the new Suicide Squad movie, I'm quite happy with how this turned out, we have King Shark. So that is Vulpus Pink on top of just the Greyseer base in the line specifically, Space Wolves Grey, and Militarum Green with Snakebite Leather for his belt with some Lead Belcher Silver for the buckle, and then Agrat's Earthshade over the whole thing. And then the base is Citadel's Varnish on top of Talisar Blue, but I've forgotten offhand what it's called. It's not just called Varnish, no, I can't remember what it's called offhand, sorry. I don't use it that often. I'm surprised it hasn't like just evaporated from lack of use. But yeah, happy with how he turned out. Hopefully going to see him on the table soon. The Space Wolves Grey was the perfect colour with the wash over the top to give him that kind of reflective rubbery shark skin, and the Vulpus Pink with the wash over top toned it back just enough so it didn't stand out too much, I think. So yeah, I'm happy with how he turned out, and that does conclude another Getting Stuff Painted. Feel free to show me what you've been painting on Twitter at GamerEND. I try and like and retweet everything that's shown to me, whether it's from a miniature game I play or not. Might be a bit longer for the next one, because I am painting up a storm. We'll definitely be seeing more Curse City, that's for sure. Maybe some more Batman releases if they arrive, again, as part of the objective deck release. And maybe those last 2 orcs for Blood Bowl. We shall see. Try and throw in some variety if possible, but you're just getting through stuff as and when. So thank you very much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. Hope it inspired you to get through your pile of grey shame as well. And I'll see you in 2 weeks-ish for the next update. Until then, ta-ta for now.